Welcome to Shadow Smoke Tarot, where you will be told how amazing you are and what a fuck up you are, all in the same reading. Oh hey, oh hey, oh hey, hey. Welcome to my channel. This is Shadow Smoke Tarot. This is my first time checking in, and I am excited to see you. You can't see me, but we're having a good time anyway. This is my deck collection here, and I think as an introductory video, I'm going to just introduce you to all of my decks before I give my first reading. So let's go down the line because I absolutely love each and every single one of these decks, except this one, but we'll get there. All right, let's start here. Here we have my Tarot de la Nuit. Now, I don't want to hear anybody's mouth about your beliefs about how you like to keep your cards. I keep my cards in a rubber band because I like it like that. I don't like to have them sliding all over each other. I don't like them in bags because I can't see what's what. I like to go in there, grab it by the rubber band like a nice little packet, and go on about my time. So that's what we'll be doing here, and if you don't like it, don't be on Shadow Smoke Tarot. These are my Tarot de la Nuit. I love these cards. This deck I use mostly for love readings, things, romance reading type things, because for whatever reason, they're just really, angelic and, like vampire love type cards. I like these cards. The Lover's card. Oh, I love this. Queen of Wands. She's so pretty. She is so glamorous. The Lovers in here is amazing. Oh, this is powerful. Five of Wands. That says it all. Let's see if I can find a Lovers really quick. Wow. Tarot de la Nuit. Great cards, great deck, great for love reading, pretty positive, but they also have a dark, spooky feel to them too. I'm kind of falling out of interest with the Lover's card right now, and I'm ready to move on to something else. It's in here somewhere. Anyway, on to the next, Tarot de la Nuit. Not the deck that I use most often, but definitely one of my faves. All my decks are my faves. These are, no, those aren't those. What are these? I'm pretty sure they're this deck here. Yeah, this deck here. Oh, can't see that. It says the Tarot of the Orishas. Okay. Tarot of the Orishas. This is the village, which is like the tower. Incredible card. It is powerful. These cards, Karma. These cards I use when I am working with people of my own ancestry. These are more geared towards the Orishas, which are more of African tradition, and that was important to me just because Ace of Fire, I mean, tell me that doesn't speak, down home Africa, right? Like, that's a beautiful card right there. Yeah, it just, I personally feel like it's important to communicate with the proper ancestors, and the energy behind these cards are directly from, a different ancestor than, some of my other decks. Some of the other ones are more Christian, even though these do have a bit of a Christian twist. These also have more African twist to them. So that's that. This here is my favorite deck so far. I can't even express to you how much I love this deck. I just got it. It's called the Transparent Tarot. And this deck is just marvelous. I mean, this is why I have this white cloth here, because if you look, obviously the cards are transparent, hence the transparent tarot. Oh my gosh, I just canceled out of my recording, so here we go again. Transparent tarot, great deck, very powerful. I love how this deck fits together. You know, it's really uniquely built. You see how, like, let me just, oh, here's a good example. Okay, we have the Magician here, which you can see right there. Okay, you have the Magician, which are these two dragons, and you know, they come together. And then you have something like the Star, right? And they just fit together so perfectly. And there's so many different combination possibilities that are here that it is just an endless amount of information that comes through these cards. I can't even begin to tell you. Let's say we put the King of Cups here, right? And not everything is perfectly centered, right? Like you have this here. So let's say you have the King of Cups and the Eight of Wands, right? Or if the Eight of Wands was reversed, right? It's really not the easiest to see from your perspective. But these cards, the Eight of Wands is a guy, it looks like, you know, on his wand, and he's, you know, flying through the air. So I love this deck. I use this almost every single reading, and it's the first deck that I go to for my readings to open, if not the first or the second, for sure. This is by far, wow, that just happened, my favorite deck. Here we have the Chakra Oracle, which, you know, nothing too special. This is what they look like on the back. They are cute. This is what psychic development, divine wisdom, family. Let's do a quick pull really quick. What do you have to say about this channel? I'm just going to shuffle it once because I want to. What do you have to say about this channel? Ooh, this one popped, so we're going to take Spiritual Awakening. These cards are fantastic. Spiritual Awakening. I know you can't even see that because it's backwards, and I don't even know how to fix it. So you just have to deal. Okay. Apparently we're going to have a spiritual awakening here, which is the point. All right, so we have these, and obviously we know what we use these for, you know, just to figure out, you know, what chakra is, you know, speaking or needs to be worked on, blocked, whatever. So go from there. Ooh, I like these, Alice in Wonderland. These are cute, and it just so happens to have a pink rubber band. That's cute too. Okay, Alice in Wonderland. I have a weird connection with Alice in Wonderland. I've never actually been into Alice in Wonderland. I've seen the movie maybe twice. I was into other things like Lion King and Beauty and the Beast, and this just was not something for me. But somehow, some way, it always stood out to me because I knew that my life was strange, I guess. I don't know. I have always had a weird connection with Alice in Wonderland, and now that I'm an adult, I would say that my life is a wonderland, and I find myself following white bunnies down rabbit holes all the time. So, here we go. Mortality. Life is brief, bright, beautiful, and yours to live. Beautiful. Messages for a rabbit. Service to the animal world. She's beautiful, isn't she? That rabbit is cute too. All must have prizes, trying to please everyone. Just not possible. Law is not justice. Rules that are not fair. Okay, so that's these. And these are used when I'm a little bit confused about where a situation is. And, you know, if I'm drawing tarot and it's just not really filling in the blanks for me, I usually will turn to these when I feel like there's something mysterious hiding behind, you know, the veil somewhere. So that's those. Here I have, ooh, these also are my favorite. I just got these two. These are the In-Between Tarot. Awesome. I actually have the box right here, the In-Between Tarot, the bomb. I love this deck. It has some very interesting it's an interesting dynamic. You know, it gives you, you know, the scenery in between, you know, two consecutive cards. So here we have the Ace of Cups, which leads next into the Two of Cups. So, you know, we all know that the Ace of Cups is about, you know, giving of an emotional gift, or, you know, saying something or expressing something, or, you know, in a dramatic kind of way, in a very forward kind of way. And the Two of Cups is about love and union of two and the soul connection, right? And so, you know, with the Ace, you know, you have her with her single jar here that she's filling with water, and she's really, you know, in this emotional place, right? And she's with herself, and she's connecting with the universe and God and water, and you know, the mother energy and within her, right? And then he's there admiring her, you know, and he's connecting with her, and it's just a really beautiful card. The way that they go through this deck is just fantastic. Here's another one, the Fool, and he goes into the Magician, and, you know, you see the classic Fool, you know, and he left his dog, which wasn't right, but whatever. And, you know, he's headed off into, you know, a part of his life that, you know, requires him to have blind faith. And, you know, you see he took the essence of the flower, right? Oh my gosh, can you see that? He took the essence of the flower. Okay, he didn't actually take the flower. It's not red, right? And he took that as a sign of hope. And look, the flower is there, you know, to prove to him that anything is possible. This flower grew on rocks. Like, you know, there's no grass. There's no anything around there. You know, it's the top of a mountain, you know, and, you know, yet and still, you know, it's there at the edge of the cliff. And, you know, he's going off into his own journey, creating his own next, you know, phase in life, and that is the journey of the Fool to the Magician. And so this is incredible. Two of Cups, Three of Cups, you know, it's a deck that is really very, very direct, and gives a perspective that no other deck, in my opinion, has, as well as the Transparent Tarot. That deck gives a very unique perspective. Ooh, Decameron. These are awesome. I like these cards. These I use when I'm doing romance readings, apparently. Relationship readings, when I'm doing, you know, readings on cheating. Obviously love, when I just, you know, want to play, you know, position roulette with my man. This is a great deck to go through. Let's just look at a couple of these cards. I'm pretty sure everyone has seen this deck before. This is actually one deck that I have that is relatively popular. I have a few, but I really like to have decks that are not quite as popular. You know, so just shuffle the cards, pick one. Well, that's two girls, but, you know, tell him, you know, or her, or whoever, you know, hey, let's do this, right? Sounds fun to me. Or let's do that. Sounds fun to me too, right? So, you know, this deck is fun. This deck, you know, gives a lot of insight into people's sexual desires as well. You know, some of the things that they may not be willing to express that they want to have done in the bedroom. It is awesome. And it comes with a very simple, easy pamphlet to help you, you know, decipher what some of the images are, which is nice. Yeah, then here we have this deck. It's this one here, the New Orleans Voodoo Tarot. I like this deck. This is another one of my ancestor decks. I am Creole, part Creole, my dad's side of the family, and we are blessed in the way of the voodoo. And so I had to make sure that I got myself a voodoo deck. And this deck is really awesome. I have one card that creepily haunts me. It's this creepy little girl, and she haunts me all the time. I love this. Marie Laveau. This is a good card. This is nice. I connect with that. It makes me feel like it's myself. Let's see if I can find this creepy little girl now that she wants to hide. And I actually folded the card one day, which makes me sad because, you know, whatever, here she is. Let me see. If you can see, I folded it. I creased it on accident. This is the Six of Earth. She's creepy. Look at her eyes. She's freaking creepy. And she usually always ends up at the bottom of the deck. And it's interesting to me because her card does not actually stand out in the deck. You know, it's not like the folding, it causes it to have any, like, definitive mark. Like, there's a separation here that's definitive, but that's not even that card, right? Like, it's a whole different card. You know, so I don't even know how she always ends up at the bottom of the deck, but she does. All right. This is taking a little bit long. I have quite a few decks, and each one of them have their own personalities. All right, this deck here is 3 decks in 1. I'm going to speed this up for all of us. This is 3 decks in 1. This is the regular Rider-Waite, and it is the before, the foresight, the after sight, and then the regular Rider-Waite tarot. You know, it's this one here that I have, and I combined all 3 decks because even though they are very similar images, the images are also different. Like, here we have the death card. This is the afterthought. Let me see. You know, this is actually about to be a pain in my rear. I'm gonna really quickly try to see if I can find another death card. You guys already know what that looks like. Oh, look. Okay, forget death. We have the devil right here. We have 2 of them right there. Perfect. Alright, so I don't have a third one. I'm not going to try to find it, okay? But here we have the devil where they're both chained to each other. This is the foresight and the afterthought. We all know what the regular one looks like, right? Where they're just kind of standing there looking at each other, looking crazy. Alright, and so now, you know, here they have a little bit of, you know, reaction as if, you know, they're surprised at what's happening, you know, or as if, you know, he just locked them down or something. And then over here, you know, they're intertwined in their own, you know, desires, and they're indulging and they're happy about it, you know. So it gives different aspects of the same scene, you know, which can be very helpful, very, very helpful when you're trying to do a reading and, you know, you get tired of seeing the same, you know, card. Like, look at this hangman, you know, has, you know, a woman who is, you know, giving him something to drink and hydrating him, whereas in the regular deck, you know, she isn't. And this could really give some insight into there being, you know, somebody having, you know, a kind-hearted person in their life who, you know, is helping them get through the hard times as they think and they process what it is that, you know, has them in the hangman energy in the first place. So, you know, this deck is really awesome. I absolutely love this deck. I got away from using it for a while when I got my transparent tarot and my in-between tarot, and I got another one that I absolutely love too, that I will show you in just a minute. So there's that. This rubber band is not going to support this deck. Like, what did I do? Okay, I can use that for those. Okay, I got my rubber band pack, literally. this pack from the Dollar Tree, like literally $1 for all these rubber bands. There's different sizes, which is great because, you know, decks like this, you know, they need a very large rubber band. All right, you guys, mixed emotions. I don't think I have seen a single tuber talk about these cards. I haven't actually researched them, but I have watched so many deck collections and, you know, just readings, and no one has touched on this deck at all. And this deck is a charm. I was not into it when I first purchased it. I bought it and brought it out of the store and immediately got in my car, opened it up, started touching on it, and was really disappointed with the cardstock. It's very, very thin, and I felt like, oh my gosh, I got these really cheap, jacked up, you know, cards that are gonna be all messed up, and they're not probably not even gonna be good. And, you know, I was very, very wrong. Very, very wrong. I wonder if the deck is mad. It knew I was going to say that because this is at the bottom of the deck. Anyway, yeah, you know, this deck literally is, I mean, it just gives so many emotions. This is excited, confused, surprised, creative, empowered, you know, stressed. There's jealous here. You know, jealous. Like, these cards are great, and I use them all the time, and they're always accurate, always so spot on accurate. And I wish there were more. There really aren't very many. And there's like loving in here twice, even though they're different images, you know, so they touch on different types of love. You know, and a lot of the emotions in my mind are pretty similar, and so I would like to have more, but you know what, whatever. If they made like a part 2 to these and they made them the same size, I'm telling you, I would absolutely purchase them, combine them together, and make it a mega deck like this over here. Tarot Shadows. I love it. And you know, we have Shadow Smoke here. I don't know if anybody knows why I named it that way. Shadow is my name. I like Shadow. Shadow is not my birth name, but that's what I like to be called. So there's that. And then Smoke, because I'm a smoker. And here's my ancestor head with some potpourri underneath. Smells so good. And you know, I have a little bit of, you know, something here that I keep in the eyeball just to, you know, be there when Shadow Smoke is ready to actually do her thing. Okay? Because on this channel, you know, we blow one for the guy. This deck shuffles incredibly well. You have no idea how well this deck shuffles. Oh my gosh. This deck has a personality of its own. It's very strong, very powerful, and it shuffles flawlessly. Flawlessly. This deck is incredible, and it's never wrong. None of my decks are ever wrong. If anything, I'm wrong. But the deck is never wrong. These I use to tell time. That's all I use these cards for. These, obviously, I use to draw on people's shadow side. What is it that people don't want to reveal, or they don't know to reveal about themselves? Yes, great cards. Great cards. Like I said, timeline, that's all I use these for. I do not do readings with those otherwise. Wisdom, Wisdom of the House of Night Oracle. These are good. These actually do take the place of what these don't do. Why is Hateful still at the bottom of the deck? Maybe I didn't shuffle it. Anyway, because these give, you know, emotions and different ideas, you know, just single words that help to kind of pull the reading together a little bit. So we have obedience, fledgling, I don't even know what that means, oath, conclusion, fragment, deceit, trapped, denial, reminder, High Priestess of Water. So, you know, these kind of pick up where these leave off, I would say. And I appreciate them for that. I'm getting more into oracle cards. I wasn't so much into them in the beginning, and now I'm really liking to have them in my collection. These are the, oh my goodness, Vice Versa Tarot. The Vice Versa Tarot. These are pretty awesome too. So they're double-sided, and they're another Rider-Waite style. So, you know, you can pretty much tell what's going on in each of the cards. You know that this is the Ace of Swords, you know, and this is the Chariot, and, you know, this gives an idea into the inner workings of the card, and or the querent rather, you know, the subject person, and the outer workings. So, you know, let's just say, as the reader looking at the querent and saying this is your energy, versus the reader looking at the querent and saying this is how you feel on the inside. This is what you're thinking about on the inside. This is what you're experiencing. Okay, so it's sort of like that. And in some ways, some of the cards have the reversal meaning. It would really be the idea behind the opposite side on some of these cards, and so it kind of helps. I don't use these in reversals too much because of that fact, so I just pretty much try to keep them all organized and faced up. If they do come out in any type of reverse fashion, I usually tend to take it, but I do not set my cards up that way, and that is for the majority of my cards. I feel like if they want to come out reverse, they will. This deck, I do not do that with. I allow these to come out reverse, and I allow these to come out how they will. I do not know why right at this moment, but I know there is a reason. Okay, again, you know, another oracle, Angel of Strength. I'm sure everybody has seen this deck. I'm sorry, I do not know what this deck is called, and I don't have the book here that I can see, so we're just going to go ahead and go with it. These are, yep, and Angel of Strength, Action, Victory, great cards, just more oracles. You know, kind of, again, you know, picking up where those emotions cards leave off. These I had an intention for. These are, what are these called? I forgot what the heck these are called. I don't like these. I don't know how I'm going to use them. I spent $50 on 2 different decks. It's supposed to be a game, different card games, and I just thought I would go through it and pick out some of the deeper cards that could be used as oracles. Would you rather save money or save time? You know, what's your dream if money didn't matter? You like to avoid conflict so that problems fester into something more of a challenge. Okay, so, you know, just to kind of call out some of the things within a person that, you know, good and bad, and also give them challenges, you know. And so I call this my Read Between the Lines deck. What's the best compliment you've ever received? Not so much that I want the person to think about the best compliment they've ever received, right? But for them to think in between the lines and, you know, ask themselves, what is it that someone has said to you that made you feel really good about yourself? What was it? And then, you know, play off of that. Was it your smile? Was it the way you dressed? You know, is it the way you look in a particular color? You know, what is it? And, you know, to help a person, you know, just kind of go a little bit deep and read between their lines in their life, and in a fun and unique kind of way. I haven't actually used them. I don't know if I ever will. I mean, obviously I'm going to try it one day, I guess, but they don't excite me whatsoever. Divine Doors, these are cute, right? Like, this door is freaking amazing. It's so pretty. I like doors. I don't even know why, but I do. I like to look at people's front doors, find out, you know, who has a front door that I like, what kind of front door would I like to have when I have my own house, and I can, you know, do my own door. Like, this is not even a cute door, but that blue is just vibrant and gorgeous, and I would absolutely have that door, right? Like, oh my goodness. And they have, it's a miniature oracle deck. A cure for longing. Love is happiness. A spark inside. Love deliberately and choose boldly. Then you have arrived. Okay, you know, so I mean, there's just a lot here that, you know, and all these decks have their own place in my readings, you know, and when I need a deck, you know, I will sit and feel it out, and they'll call out to me and tell me who's ready and who's not, and you know, who wants to speak and who doesn't, and I love that. These are my Moon Oracle cards. I love these. These are so nice, and this is another popular deck that I've seen a number of times on people's channels. Emotions are running high in the super moon, and that pink is standing out to me, so I have to do this. Be bold and make the first move. The end of a tough cycle approaches. A win-win outcome is forecast. So, you know, that is my decks. Those are my decks. I hope you enjoyed the tour. I hope you enjoy how we pull together readings from here on. And welcome to Shadow Smoke Tarot.